when people talk about reading books and they, I'll often hear that, they'll read the book or they'll get into the book and they'll get 30, 60, 70, 100 pages into it and they got the gist and, they put the book down. And, I actually write and grow about reading, and I make the argument that typically an author will leave the most powerful points to the conclusion or to the end of the book. And when you set the book down after 30 or 50 or 100 pages thinking you got the book figured out, I find that you're doing yourself a disservice, right? And so when I tried to summarize this last section, I was really hard. It's like 3 pages, and I didn't know how to summarize it. And so it's really kind of I hope to be sort of the powerful kind of punch at the end of the book. And so I figured it. I read it. I timed it. It's about 5 minutes, which is within my allotted time. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and read the conclusion as a way to wrap up these presentations. And so the last subsection in the final chapter, the title is Crazy, Demented, Kooky, Insane, Nuts, Psycho, Unhinged, Maniacal, Dippy, and Deranged. There are so many moments in the development of your business in which you can choose to take the easy road or continue to drive the boat as fast as you possibly can. Remember, startup is a race. From the day you open the business, you are in a race to get to your first day of cash flow. The race boat is leaking water like a bucket with holes drilled in the bottom. You're at the helm. There's wind gusting between 30 and 40 miles per hour. The waves are bigger than mounds of snow in a Walmart parking lot in January, in Michigan, of course. You may have just seen a water spout in your periphery, and you're not sure if it's going to hit you or not. Well, then stay on course. You have the engine wide open, banging on wave after wave. You have weather lines up, and everyone above deck is tethered in because it's almost impossible to walk. Visibility is 0. It is freezing cold. Your first mate walks up to you with a worried look, like maybe you're pushing a little too hard. You look him right in the eye and exclaim, "Isn't this amazing? Just about the coolest thing I've ever done. Hold on tight. We're about to hit another big wave," as you crash face first into a monster. Here's the rub. You mean it. You're loving it. This race is the greatest thing you've ever done. It's what you always wanted. To be realistic, not every day will be like juggling quarts of blood during surgery or like driving your boat at full speed through a monsoon, but some will. And it is how you respond at these moments that will determine your fate in startup. When you look at your first mate in the eye and say, "Isn't this amazing?" and mean it, you set the tone. Everyone involved with the organization will take note and understand that you will do whatever it takes for the businesses to succeed. Everyone in the organization will feed off you and your commitment. They will support you and pull really hard for your success. Let me try to make one more comparison that is probably inappropriate and may get me in trouble with some moms out there, but your business is like a newborn baby. The infant is dependent on mom. Other people are involved, of course, in helping out, but for the most part, the baby is interested in being with mom. In this scenario, the business is the infant, and the founder of the business is the mom. The needs of the baby are immense and all-consuming. The baby doesn't care if mom is having a bad day or exhausted with 2 other kids hanging on her for their needs. As of this writing, we have a new baby in our household. There are times when I don't know how my wife does it. I know she is exhausted and at her wit's end, but when the baby needs something, she approaches him with love and care and provides anything and everything for him. There are even times when I offer to help and she responds, "No, I got it. I want to." She is tired and drained and running on empty, but I know if you asked her, she would tell you it is amazing and truly a great honor. She knows her efforts today are going to pay off for our little boy down the road. It is worth the investment. It is worth the time. It is worth the effort. The emotional intensity will not be the same in your business as with the baby, but the energy and effort will be similar. The main difference between a baby and your business is that the baby cries. It has a built-in mechanism to let you know when it is in need. As a parent, you also have an inherent instinctual trigger for the baby. Your business will not cry, and you do not have an instinctual need to do what it takes in the business unless you have an instinctual need to succeed. Many of the successful business owners I know seem to have this instinctual need to succeed. It is drilled so deep inside of them they will climb any hill, write any program, fix any machine, or wrestle any alligator in order to succeed in their business. When I explain to people who ask how we were able to grow our business to where it is today, I mention a maniacal commitment to success and the story of Mary Roselle, one of the founders of our first store. I always knew that if, as partners, we decided that it would further the business and help us succeed, for Mary to walk from Lansing to Chattanooga, she would go to her closet, get her walking shoes on, and start walking to Tennessee without asking a question. She was so dedicated to the business, it was awe-inspiring. Everybody in the organization knew it, and that commitment level was infectious. I wish there was a serum we could inject into people who are starting a business that would make them drunk with commitment, allow them to thrive on chaos, and give them boundless energy to wake up every day and bring their A-plus game. There isn't. I wish there was a playbook that gave you guidelines and rules on what to do in the first 12 to 18 months of your business. There isn't. I wish there was a network of people out there to support people who are living through a startup. There isn't. Most of the stuff written on entrepreneurialism that is meant to support leaders during startup leads people down the wrong brain path. Most of that stuff focuses on the science of startup. It walks you through how to write a business plan, what to include in your legal documents. Don't forget about your exit strategy in the event the business fails. How an effective marketing plan would be assembled, and my personal favorite, how to organize your deck to present to investors and raise money. This is the science, the recipe. This is the nuts and bolts. This is the stuff people focus on when launching their idea. Doing a wonderful job on these documents represents the likelihood of success about as much as how the owner's manual, a map, and what type of gas you put in your car will determine how successful you will become as a driver. The only thing that matters, the only metric I want you to think about before you start your business is your commitment to crazy. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to put the bit in your mouth, bite down, and run as hard as you can until you feel like you're going to throw up out of your nose? Are you willing to put your walking shoes on and walk to Chattanooga? Are you willing to cut the grass with a pair of scissors because they're the only tool you have? Are you willing to swim upstream in a river full of alligators? Are you willing to drive the boat full throttle through the monsoon? Are you willing to do whatever, and I mean whatever it takes, to make your business succeed? If you can look yourself in the mirror and say yes, emphatically yes, I believe you have a fighting chance.